Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report, high school football fans, for the Central Indiana Sports Report's Week 12 Sectional Championships Scoreboard show. About 36 hours later than expected because of a family emergency. It'll happen from time to time, but it'll be rare, and I was actually probably able to make it a little bit better because I was able to gather more information for this week's Scoreboard show. Please enjoy. Before we get to it, I want to let you know what's coming up on the Central Indiana Sports Report. On Saturday, we had reactions to IU's win over Penn State. Amazing game. Purdue's loss to Ohio State, and we also touched on Purdue basketball win over Oakland on Friday night. Later today, we'll have reaction to the Colts game in Berlin against the Atlanta Falcons. And, of course, we'll continue to have Pacers coverage throughout the season. Also, very soon, we will have our boys and girls basketball scoreboard shows. The plan is to start Tuesday night, but that is not solid yet. Please check back with us. You know what? Right now would be a good time to go and subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun. And what would help us a lot and will cost you absolutely nothing, please hit that like button and help spread this podcast around Indiana. One last note, I want to thank all of the reporters who helped us out getting stats and information on the games, particularly Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post, Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin, Kate Hampton of the Muncie Star Press, Lebanon reporter, sports editor Will Willems, and Val Sitsoris of WROI in Rochester. Thanks so much, guys. Also, love Max Preps. Love what they're doing. We got a lot of our stats from Max Preps. And coaches, if you don't have your stats on by Sunday morning, shame on you. And we start, as we always do, in Class 6A, Sectional 1. That was one of the best games of the night. Between a pair of unbeaten teams, it was number 5 Penn 28-24 over number 3 Crown Point, the two-time defending champions, who beat the Kingsmen 35-0 in last year's sectional championship. Landon Hall's 32-yard pass to Mason Barnacki with 1:47 left in the game was the difference. It's Penn's 27th sectional championship. The Kingsmen will host Fort Wayne Carroll in next week's regional after the 10th ranked Chargers defeated Fort Wayne Northrop 42-23 to win back-to-back sectional championships and their 4th in 5 years. Carroll beat Northrop for the SAC and the sectional championships this year. Asher Wagner and Gabe Frisinger both went over 100 yards, and Jackson Rhodes 97 on the ground for the Chargers. And another great one, as we expected, in the Sectional 3 championship game, where number 2 Carmel played number 6 Westfield. The game went into overtime, and after Carmel kicked a field goal, Westfield's Aiden Grabowski threw a 4-yard touchdown pass to Baylor Connor on 4th down after Carmel had erased a 14-0 deficit. Grabowski had an earlier touchdown pass and touchdown run as the Rocks built a 14-0 lead in the second quarter. It's the 6th straight sectional championship for last year's state runners-up. They also eliminated Carmel in 22 and 23. Carmel surprisingly still sectionalists, that's hard to say, since winning their state record 32nd sectional championship in 2020. Carmel beat Westfield 34-10 in week 2. Westfield will host Fishers in next week's regional after the Tigers defeated crosstown rival Hamilton Southeastern 28-10 for the Sectional 4 championship. That gives Fishers back-to-back sectional championships for the first time in the program's young history. The Tigers beat the Royals 28-16 earlier this year and 44-41 in last year's sectional championship. It's the 6th straight year that the Tigers and Royals have played in the sectional. Ryan Thimblelimu had 32 carries for 174 yards and scored 3 times for Fishers. So again, next Friday for the regional championship, it will be 8-3 and 9th ranked Fishers at 9-2 and 6th ranked Westfield. We move to the South in Class 6A, but there really is no South in Class 6A, particularly after the first round. I believe Center Grove is the furthest south program left, and that's not very south. And in Sectional 5, it was number 1 and unbeaten Brownsburg 53-29 over Avon, the 9th sectional championship in program history for the Bulldogs. Brownsburg scored 108 points in 2 games against their rivals. They also beat Avon 21-13 to win last year's sectional on the way to the program's first ever state championship. Aiden Job, 211 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Bulldogs. And Brownsburg will be at Decatur Central next Friday in what will be a head-to-head matchup from last year's 6A and 5A state champions. After the Hawks beat Lawrence Central 17-14, the reigning 5A state champions outscored Lawrence Central 14-0 in the second half for the program's 5th sectional championship and their 3rd straight. So again, next Friday it'll be number 1, 11-0 Brownsburg at 9-2 and 8th ranked Decatur Central with a 9-game winning streak head-to-head for the regional championship. Again, a battle of last year's 6A and 5A champions. And in the very south of Class 6A, we have a bunch of Indianapolis area schools. Sectional 7, it was Warren Central winning its 25th sectional, 5th straight, and 10 in the last 12 years, 58-0 over Southport. The 11th ranked Warriors are now 7-4, and will go to Center Grove for the regional next Friday after the 4th ranked Trojans defeated Franklin Central 30-27. The 21st sectional championship for Center Grove and 15th in a row for the defending regional champions. It was their 3rd straight year eliminating the Flashes. It was 52-14 last year, so excellent improvement for Franklin Central this season. Brody Tilton had a pair of touchdown runs, including what turned out to be a much needed touchdown with a minute to play. So once again, next Friday, as expected, it will be 11th ranked and 7-4 Warren Central at 4th ranked 10-1 Center Grove for the regional championship. Warren Central beat the Trojans 23-15 in last year's regional. Center Grove won the matchup 24-6 in week 1 this year. Once again, your Elite 8 in Class 6A. Number 1, unbeaten, defending state champion Brownsburg. Number 4, Center Grove. Number 5, Penn. Number 6, Westfield. Number 8, Decatur Central. Number 9, Fishers. Number 10, Carroll. And number 11, Warren Central. We move to Class 5A, where 5th ranked Merrillville won its 7th straight sectional championship 45-14 over Munster. The Pirates led this one 38-7 by halftime. J.Q. Johnson, 151 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground for the Pirates, who are now 9-2 on the season. The Pirates will go to Michigan City for the regional after the Wolves beat LaPorte 28-21. The second time the Wolves beat the Slicers in a really competitive game this season. It's Michigan City's 4th sectional title, all 4 in the last 8 years. The Wolves led 21-0 and then had to hold on for the victory. So once again, it'll be 9-2 and 5th ranked Merrillville at 8-3 and 12th ranked Michigan City for the regional championship next week. Merrillville won the regular season matchup 44-7 on September 19th. Had a good win in Sectional 11 where number 6 Concord eliminated Fort Wayne North 34-29. There were 59 points scored in the fourth quarter of this one and well over 1,000 yards of offense. It's Concord's first sectional championship since 2018, and they will host Lafayette Jeff in next week's regional after the third-ranked Broncos defeated Kokomo 57-0. It's Jeff's 8th sectional championship, third in the last 4 years. They outscored Kokomo 106-16 in 2 meetings this year and led this one 51-0 at the half. Tristan Barrett had touchdown passes to Jamel Thomas and Bryce Van Nostrand in the win. So again, it'll be number 3 Lafayette Jeff at number 6 Concord for the regional next week. Both teams are 10-1, and the two teams have never played. And in the game of the night, and a game that most likely determined the state champion, in sectional 13, it was number 1 New Palestine 20-15 over Cathedral. The 11-0 Dragons' 25th straight win, their 7th consecutive sectional championship, and they're about to win back-to-back state championships in 2 different classes. Maybe 6A can do something about them. Ryder Gardner returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Jacob Davis threw for 148 yards and ran for 2 touchdowns in what turned out to be a defensive struggle. Cathedral season ends at 7-4, and got to be the best team in Indiana history that went 7-4 and didn't win a sectional championship, right? New Pal will play number 8 East Central next week after East Central beat Whiteland 35-0 for the sectional 14 championship. The Trojans are 10-2 after winning their 5th consecutive sectional championship. Nyson Houston started the scoring with a 100-yard interception return, and Colton Bellman scored 3 more rushing touchdowns before halftime. 7th-ranked Whiteland season ends at 9-3. So once again, it will be number 1 New Pal at number 8 East Central for the regional. And East Central is the last team to beat New Pal. That was 49-0 in the semi-state 2 years ago. Coach Ralph's Dragons have been unbeatable ever since. In sectional 15, number 4 Bloomington South had to come from behind to beat rival Bloomington North 31-28. It's the 20th sectional championship for the 11-1 Panthers. Their 5th straight. They outscored the Cougars 24-7 in the second half to get their second win of the year over North. The last time they met, it was 36-7 on September 12th. The Panthers will be favorites in the regional as well when they host Floyd Central. The 9th-ranked Highlanders beat Evansville North 15-10 to win the program's 5th sectional championship and their first since 2019 by beating the defending champion Huskies. So once again, for the regional championship next Friday, it'll be number 9 Floyd Central at number 4 Bloomington South. Both teams are 11-1. In Class 5A, Sectional 17, Hobart avenged an earlier loss to Lowell with a 35-15 victory over the 13th-ranked Red Devils. The Brickies had 321 yards on the ground, led by Alex Tatum with 153 and Max Pickett with 134th to get the program's 23rd sectional championship, but their first in 5 years. Next Friday, the Brickies will be in South Bend to face 7th-ranked St. Joseph after the Huskies beat 4th-ranked Mishawaka 13-7 by scoring 10 points in the fourth quarter for the program's first sectional championship since 2015. Mishawaka was the 2-time defending champion and had won 12 championships in the last 15 years. In a big-time revenge game in Sectional 19, where Fort Wayne Dwenger beat number 1 East Noble 32-0. After the Knights beat the Saints 38-0 in last year's sectional championship, it's Dwenger's 29th sectional championship overall and their 4th in their last 5 years. And they will be at Lebanon next week after Lebanon won its first sectional championship since 1997 with a 21-17 win over Logansport. Just Lebanon's second sectional championship ever. Quarterback Chris Hill was 9 for 12 for 146 yards and scored twice and had another 40 yards on the ground. The according to Will Willems of the Lebanon Reporter. Go check out his game story at the Lebanon Reporter. Logansport has been eliminated by Lebanon in the sectional the last 2 years. And Yorktown flipped the script on Hoosier Heritage Conference rival Pendleton Heights. After Pendleton won at Yorktown just a few weeks ago, Yorktown goes into Pendleton and dominates for a 28-10 victory over the 6th-ranked Arabians. Both teams are now 10-2. It's the 4th sectional championship for Yorktown under Mike Wilhelm and their first in Class 4A. Nate Luzader, a fellow member of the Frankton number 25 Brotherhood, had 257 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pendleton Heights had 5 drives inside the Tiger 30 and got just 3 points out of them, according to Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network. And for those of you who expected Pendleton and Chittard in the regional, boy, are you going to be surprised when it's Roncalli at Yorktown next Friday for the regional championship. Roncalli had lost 33-11 to rival Chittard earlier in the season. But on Friday, when it really mattered, it was Colin Ash and the Royals 26-6 over Chittard. Ash ran for 124 yards and a score and threw for another 66 yards and another to help give Roncalli its 22nd sectional championship and its first since 2022. Chittard was going for its record 33rd sectional championship and its 3rd in a row, and beat Roncalli 28-24 in last year's sectional championship. So again, for the regional championship next Friday, it'll be 9-3 and 5th-ranked Roncalli at 10-2 and 12th-ranked Yorktown. Martinsville is the back-to-back sectional 23 champion after beating Bedford North Lawrence 49-35. It's the first time Martinsville's won back-to-back sectional championships since winning 3 straight from 1994 to 96. The Artesians lost to Bedford 33-15 in Week 1. Next Friday, they will be at Heritage Hills. The number 3 ranked Patriots defeated Jasper 38-8 for the program's 16th sectional championship and its 3rd in a row. The reigning 3A champions are now 11-1 on the year. The Patriots led 24-0 at the half and 38-0 after 3 quarters. Jet Goldsberry had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Tice Winchell had a 60-yard touchdown run for Heritage Hills. So once again, next week it'll be 6-6 Martinsville at 11-1 and 3rd-ranked Heritage for the regional championship. We move to Class 3A Sectional 25, and that's where Miles McLaughlin and the Knox Redskins defeated Mishawaka Marion 48-18 to win the program's 5th sectional championship and their 4th straight. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence. On Friday, the 4th-ranked Redskins improved to 12-0 behind McLaughlin's 383 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's now within sight of the all-time national single-season rushing record and the national career rushing record. On Friday, he passed Derrick Henry on the single-season list with 4,396 this season, only 306 yards behind Dominic Bragalone's 2014 record he set in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and just 737 yards behind Derrick Henry's all-time national record. He will look to set more records next Friday in the regional at home against Angola, after the Hornets stunned defending champion Garrett with a 30-28 come-from-behind victory, scoring the game's final 16 points for the program's first sectional championship since going back-to-back in 2017 and 2018. Overall, their 5th sectional championship. So once again, for the regional championship next Friday, it'll be 7-5 Angola at 12-0 and 4th-ranked Knox. In Sectional 27, Twin Lakes won its first sectional championship since 2002 with a 35-19 win over Hoosier Conference rival Western. Another amazing job by Kevin O'Shea, who wins a sectional at his 4th different school. Ledger Schaefer had 3 touchdowns and an interception for the 10-2 and 14th ranked Indians. in their second win this year over Western. Amazing job, though, by Western head coach Austin Colby in his first season. The Panthers finished at 8-4 and advanced to the sectional championship a year after going winless. Twin Lakes will host Fort Wayne Lures in their first regional in 23 years after Lures defeated Mississinewa 23-10 in Gas City. The second straight year that Lures has beaten Mississinewa for the sectional championship. Sixth-ranked Mississinewa was going in for the game-tying score in the fourth quarter when Rory Kelly of Lures picked up a fumble and returned it 99 yards for the touchdown. Ended up being the difference in this one. Once again, it'll be 7-5 and 10th-ranked Lures at 10-2 and 14th-ranked Twin Lakes for the sectional championship on Friday. Unbeaten and third-ranked Cascade continues to roll along, winning a sectional championship 49-21 over Guerin Catholic. What a job by Connor Simmons at Cascade. Their first sectional championship since my senior year, which, trust me, was a long, long time ago. The Cadets had 475 yards of offense, led by Lucas Farmer's 134 and Toby Savini's 104 on the ground. Cascade will be at number 4 Lawrenceburg for a good one next Friday in the regional. Lawrenceburg advanced by beating Greensburg 41-3, the 11-1 Tigers' 23rd sectional championship, but their first in 3 years. Lawrenceburg actually trailed 3-0 after the first quarter before scoring 41 points over the second and third quarters. So once again, it'll be unbeaten number 3 Cascade at 11-1 number 4 Lawrenceburg for the regional on Friday. The two teams have never played, and it's going to be a great one. Indian Creek is your sectional 31 champion after beating Scottsburg 49-13. The 13th-ranked Braves are now 9-3 on the year. Their first sectional championship since 2011. And believe it or not, I was at that one too. The Braves will be at Gibson Southern next Friday for the regional championship. The second-ranked Titans are 11-1 after beating Evansville Mater Dei 17-14. A lot closer than expected, but it is Mater Dei. The 5th sectional championship for Gibson Southern, all since 2012. One of the great stories in Indiana high school football history is what Nick Hart has done at Gibson Southern, taking a dormant program and turning it into a state power, including a state championship in 2021, and could possibly win another one this year. Once again, it'll be 9-3 and 13th ranked Indian Creek at 11-1 and second ranked Gibson Southern for the regional championship. Of course, Gibson Southern is number 2, but they beat number 1 Evansville Memorial in the sectional semifinals, so they've inherited the number 1 spot. Class 2A, Sectional 33, Andrean wins back-to-back sectional championships with a 35-14 win over Rensselaer Central. The 4th-ranked 59ers led 35-0 at halftime and are now 11-1. Sectional 34, it was Southmont 44-39 over Lewis Cass in a wild one. There were 62 points scored in the second half as the Mounties improved to 11-1 on the season and win their second sectional championship in the last 3 years. Their reward, once again, will be a trip to face number 4 Andrean. It was a sectional championship in sectional 35, so of course, it was Adams Central that came out on top, 53-32 over Eastside. The top-ranked Jets remain unbeaten in defense of their Class 2A championship. It's Adams Central's 26th sectional championship overall, and their 5th straight, of course, in 2 different classes. They led 25-0 at the half before being outscored 32-28 in the second half by an Eastside team that had a really good season, took 2 of its 3 losses to Adams Central. Unbeaten and 5th-ranked Eastbrook will be at Adams Central next Friday for the regional after the Panthers came from behind to beat Eastern 31-28. It's the 17th sectional championship for Jeff Adamson and the Panthers, who are now 12-0 for the first time since their 2017 regional championship team. We'll hear more about this one from Jeff Adamson in our Eastbrook Adams Central regional preview later this week. What a year it was for Eastern, and a fine defense of its first ever sectional championship last year. The Comets led this one 28-14 with 2 minutes left in the first half. So once again, on Friday, it'll be unbeaten 5th-ranked Eastbrook at unbeaten top-ranked defending state champion Adams Central for the regional championship. Can't wait for that one. And in the south of Class 2A, Sectional 37, it was number 6 Lutheran 28-24 over Heritage Christian. The Saints now 11-1 after winning their 5th straight sectional championship. They are the 3-time reigning regional champion. I'll try to make it 4 next Friday against unbeaten 3rd-ranked Lapel, after the Bulldogs go to 12-0 for the first time in program history with a 28-15 win over 7th-ranked Triton Central. Devin Craig threw for a pair of touchdowns and ran for another. The 6th sectional championship for Lapel under Tim Miller, back-to-back for the second time in 8 years, and I never should have doubted him. Once again on Friday for the regional, it'll be unbeaten number 3 Lapel at 11-1 number 6 Lutheran. For the regional championship, Lutheran beat Lapel 35-0 in last year's regional. I'm probably going to go doubting Lapel again next week, and it'll probably be a mistake again. And in the southernmost portion of Class 2A, Sectional 39, it was 10th-ranked defending champion Linton, 58-27 over Sullivan. Linton's 17th sectional championship. After reaching the state finals last year, they scored 38 points in the second quarter, and it was over. Linton will host 2nd-ranked Brownstown Central in the regional after the Braves beat Switzerland County 55-0 for the program's 15th sectional championship, all under the legendary Reed May, who really deserves a state championship. It'd be so cool if it was Jeff Adamson against Reed May for the 2A championship. Then one of 2 great coaches, 2 great men, would get their state championship. But Brownstown will have to go through Linton to do it. Last year, the Miners upset the Braves on their way to the state finals. And in Class A, Sectional 41, LaVille wins its 2nd sectional championship in 3 years with a 49-6 win over number 11 West Central. Cole Stafford went for 272 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns for the Panthers. And the LaVille Panthers will face the Pioneer Panthers in the regional on Friday after Pioneer defeated Carroll 49-14. The 5th-ranked Panthers are now 11-1 after winning their 13th sectional championship, but their first since 2020. Micah Rands had 149 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns after going for 322 yards and 5 in last year's win over the then 3-time defending champion Cougars. North Miami repeats as Sectional 43 champions with a 51-7 win over Fremont. 9-3 North Miami clinched their 6th sectional championship in program history and back-to-back championships by outscoring the Eagles 25-0 in the second half. North Miami will host defending regional champion South Adams in the regional Friday. The 10th-ranked Starfires had little trouble winning their 2nd straight sectional championship 42-14 over Hagerstown, the 12th sectional championship overall for South Adams. The Starfires had 474 yards of total offense, including 369 passing yards and 6 touchdowns from Titus Lehman. Once again, it'll be South Adams at North Miami in the regional on Friday. South Adams beat North Miami 40-21 in last year's regional. A great one in Sectional 45, 2 teams coached by Franklin alum. It was Chuck Sorrell's South Putnam Eagles 29-21 in overtime over Riverton Park's Brad Sanders. It's back-to-back sectional championships for Sorrells Eagles, who got 251 yards and 3 touchdowns from junior Ty Benton. South Putnam will host Sheridan in the regional Friday after the Blackhawks won sectional 46 14-7 over Cloverdale. It's the 23rd sectional championship and 4th straight for Sheridan, but the first for head coach Jake Chesney in his first season at Sheridan. Jonathan Barnes' 21-yard touchdown run with 7:30 left in the third quarter was the only scoring of the second half. Alex Cravens had 155 yards and a touchdown in the defensive struggle. Sheridan is now 8-2 on the year and will go to South Putnam for the regional. South Putnam beat the Blackhawks 60-19 in last year's regional, which turned out to be Bud Wright's final game in his 61 years on the Sheridan sideline. In sectional 47, it was defending champion Milan 27-7 over 7th-ranked North Decatur. North Decatur had won the regular season matchup 21-20, but Milan takes its 8th sectional championship and 2nd in a row. Senior quarterback Marsh was a perfect 5-for-5 throwing with 2 touchdowns and ran for another 53 yards for the Indians, who will go to Providence next week for the regional after the defending state champion Pioneers defeated North Davies 42-26 for their 4th consecutive sectional championship. I remember a time not long ago where Providence just could not win a sectional championship. It is no longer a problem. Sophomore quarterback Nicholas Frondrisi was 23 for 34 for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns and ran for another touchdown, denying North Davies its first sectional championship since 1993. And once again, in the regional Friday, it'll be Milan at number 2 Providence. The Pioneers beat Milan 28-10 in last year's regional, so it's the exact same Final Four in the Class A South as last year. Thank you so much for listening. Always appreciate it. Thanks so much for everyone who helped make this scoreboard possible, including the sports reporters who've made this scoreboard possible throughout the year: Michelle Garman of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, Grant Schaus and Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network, Rob Hunt of the Anderson Herald Bulletin, Scott Hunt of the Marion Chronicle Tribune, Richie Hall of the Hamilton County Reporter, Kate Humpton of the Muncie Star Press, Will Willems of the Lebanon Reporter, Val Setsauris of WROI Radio and RTC TV4, Sam Wart of WILO, Cody Emerson and Travis Scott at the Greensburg Banner Graphic, and Kyle Neddenrip and his crew at the Indianapolis Star. Appreciate it as always, and I'm sure I forgot someone. If I did, I didn't mean to. You've all been great. Everyone's been so good to me, and I just wanted to do that quick shout out. We'll be back Thursday with our regional previews and predictions show. Thanks so much again. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susan.